Growing up as a child, I didn't have my parents. Both of my parents were drug users. My mother, she was a prostitute, and my father, he was a pimp, and they both abandoned me at a young age. I was primarily raised by my grandmother, who was a very abusive alcoholic. She would put me down and call me names, and I felt so lonely. I didn't feel like I had a voice. And in that situation, I was also sexually abused. I had an uncle that molested me and raped me for many years growing up. I started looking for ways to escape. When I hit my teenage years, around the time I was 12 years old, that's when I started experimenting with drugs. I became very promiscuous. I just started hanging out with the wrong crowd of people because I didn't know my worth, I didn't know my value. And that led to a lifestyle of going out clubbing, going out drinking, going out to bars, just doing all the wrong things. And I noticed that my friends, they would hook up with guys like right afterwards. And I started copying that too. I said, well, you know, this is what my friends are doing, I'm gonna do that too. And so that eventually led to me meeting the guy who eventually paid me the first time I ever got paid to have sex. Some guy was like, hey, well, how about I pay you? And I just figured like, okay, like I'm out here doing it anyway, I might as well. And so that one time it led to more encounters like that. Now that I knew that there were guys out there who were looking to pay for sex, I was looking for guys who were looking to pay a girl. And I met this guy who, he came into my life and he was like, I'm your knight in shining armor. I'm gonna help you out of this. I'm gonna pull you out and give you opportunity. And so I trusted this guy thinking that he had my best interest at heart. But his intention wasn't to pull me out of the sex industry. His intention was to push me further into it for his benefit. And I remember one day, he ended up calling the police on me for some bogus charges. And I got arrested and I went to jail. But it took that experience, and that's where I encountered Christ. The first day I came there, I met a woman and she was like, hey, I had a dream and the Lord showed me a girl with red hair, and she said, the Lord said everything's gonna work out perfectly, everything's gonna be all right. And in that stay in jail, like I believed her. She was something like, she took me in, she read scripture with me, she prayed over me, and God just slowly broke off so many things off of my life. Like I was so immersed in a lifestyle of drugs and alcohol and prostitution, and little by little, the Lord just broke it off. And then right before I got out, I just realized, I said, you know what? I don't want to go back to that industry. Like everything inside of me did not want that lifestyle anymore. And I remember I got out of jail and it was May of 2016. And I got out and I said, Lord, you know what? You touched my life while I was there. And I need you. Like, I want to go back to church. And I just remember being there and I said, God, like, if you have a plan for me, I need help. Because it was just so much mental anguish that I was going through. I was in such like emotional pain that it was crippling my life. And I remember I said, God, please, somebody, like I need somebody to reach out to me and help me. And a little while after that, I remember Pastor Denise, she came up and, you know, I never thought she would notice me because there was a lot of people in the church, and she came straight to me and she said, hey, what's your name? What's your story? And I just told her my story and she said, you know what? We're gonna get you help. And that's how I got into the Change program, where I was able to get counseling and get help and just overcome, not just overcome the sex trafficking, but just overcome years of trauma that it started off when I was a child, being, you know, molested and raped and verbally abused as a child and being abandoned, overcoming all that trauma to where I'm at right now. I'm just so grateful. There's no dollar amount that can be placed on just everything that I've received. I feel like there's nothing I can do to repay the people who helped me get to where I'm at today. I'm just so grateful. And just this whole experience showed me that the Lord, He's so faithful and anybody's worth fighting for.